Hey guys, patch 3.9.2 is out, and other than a few improvements to the Metamorph mechanic, they've also done a few changes to the Awakener fight. It's a lot easier, I'm just gonna say that, it's a lot easier. I've already done the fight and I've recorded it, and now we're gonna go through everything. I'm gonna play the whole video and I'm gonna explain every stage, every attack, what I do to counter them. And if you haven't done the fight or if you haven't watched someone do it, this is gonna be a great video for you, I hope. Before you create Sirus' instance, before you speak to Zana to create the instance, I would highly recommend that you create a new hideout first. Like, just swap your hideouts from Helena. Because it would be very unfortunate if you lose your hideout plus this instance during the fight. I have seen it happen with other people. Here you just need to walk around the storm, try not to get hit by Sirus' abilities and go right under him. This is gonna trigger the first stage of the fight. Here there are 3 abilities that you need to avoid. The first of them is his laser attack. The other one is the ground legion that you see on the bottom left here. This is being cast by his apparition. You're gonna see that multiple times, and the other attack is the triple beam that you just saw. Like, these are the 3 abilities, it's pretty easy. The first 3 stages of the fight are very easy. You're gonna notice that there's a circle. Like, you don't want to leave this. If you leave this during the first stage, the apparition is gonna spawn an additional storm and you don't want that to happen. Just stay inside. And these degens are gonna deal a lot of damage to you, you just don't want to leave this. Try to avoid the degens which are casted by the apparition and avoid his lasers, that's all. Here you can see the degens again. And here is the first vulnerability phase. Here I walk to the left, and to my understanding, during this phase, Sirus moves towards the stairs always. So I just wait over here and I wait to see him. I wait for him to move away from the storm, and once he has moved enough, I just flame dash under him, and I trigger the next stage. This is it.
The others found strength in their projections.
Now a new circle gets created, and the storm which is on the top right is gonna get pushed away. You're not gonna need to worry about it. During this phase, other than the 3 abilities that I mentioned earlier, you're gonna get introduced to 2 new abilities. One of them is a crater maze, and the other one is a corridor, which you're gonna see shortly. This is the crater. Like, right now, you're just getting introduced to it. It's super easy, you just need to walk out, that's it. It's gonna spawn a meteor and that's it. And this is the corridor phase. Like, he's gonna be launching projectiles down the corridor, and you can either walk out or flame dash. Or there's another neat trick if you have some minions, or I haven't tested it with totems, but it probably works. You can block the projectiles which he is launching with your minions. I'm gonna do that later on. Yeah, basically it's just 5 abilities. Casting the single laser every now and then, the triple laser, and the crater maze, and the corridor. Here I just walk out of it. During the first 3 phases, when he says die, he's gonna be shooting his triple beam at a single location, so it's very easy to dodge. And I would recommend that you have your dialogues option turned on, so you can hear when he says something. It's very important during this fight. I would recommend, if you're new to the fight, that you turn off your music and just listen to his dialogue, that's it.
Silent.
Watch guilty crumble.
Okay, here's another invulnerability phase for him. I'm gonna wait at the same position. It's fine if you just go up to the left. I'm gonna do that in a second. But yeah, basically I just wait for him to move away.
You are nothing. Fury of the cosmos, be utterly annihilated. Obliterate.
Is life really interesting enough to warrant all this pain?
This stage is basically the same as the previous one. The only difference is that the meteor maze is gonna have an additional layer. Here you can see that. Pretty easy to get out of. I would recommend that you have a Quicksilver flask with the adrenaline.
Die.
During the whole fight, I tried to keep him on my screen. Like, I don't move away to the far right or far left or whatever. I try to stay close to him so I can see his abilities.
Watch guilty crumble.
And this is the last invulnerability phase. Like here you can see that they've actually removed the object which was blocking you, which was making it impossible to avoid some abilities. Even if the fight progresses to this stage, it's going to be a lot easier. But here I'm just gonna wait for him to move a bit. Then I'll re-engage with him. I'm gonna go to the right. I'm not gonna let the fight to go up here.
Creation itself. Why resist?
The edge of death, my heart races. I am.
Sure, I actually tested. I went a bit closer to the storm, and I think that once you trigger the stage, the storm doesn't really deal you damage. And now I'm gonna talk a bit about the last stage, because there are a few changes. As you can see, the circle, which was visible around the arena during the previous stages, and before the 3.9.2 update, it was visible here as well. It's now gone. And this is going to make the fight a bit easier during certain stages, during certain abilities. The degens, which were normally around the circle, are a lot less common, which is gonna make it easier for you to avoid the crater maze ability. Here, when he's doing the triple beam, he's actually going to be moving it, so if you're moving, he's gonna try to reposition it towards you. I would recommend that you flame dash behind him. Like, in my opinion, this is the best way to avoid the ability, unless of course there's gonna be some ground degen. This is the corridor, and this is the crater maze. It has an additional layer, and as you can see, there's a lot of room to move here. I mean, you're not going to walk into degen like before the update. This is the multi-clone phase, and what you need to know about this is there are two tells, which is the real Sirus. One of them is when he blinks over to this position, he's gonna have a specific color. Like, at first you might see it, you might not, but the easier tell is that the dialogue that he's saying is gonna be coming from the real one, and this way you can understand which clone is going to be attacking you with a beam. You're gonna see in a second. And you just need to dodge that.
Everlasting fire.
The Everlasting Fire phase. Here, this beam is going to be applying Corrupting Blood on you, so you're gonna need to avoid that. And of course you're gonna need to, because it most likely will happen, you're gonna walk over this at some point. It's not fatal, but try not to do it. You're gonna need to have some way to mitigate Corrupting Blood. You can do that either with a flask, or you can get a jewel, which gives you Immunity to corrupted blood. Like the exact name of the mod is. Corrupted blood cannot be applied to you, that's an implicit. So yeah, here it's a bit more difficult. I'm just trying to stay near him and avoid the beams from the Everlasting Fire. Also, the Everlasting Fire is going to leave a degen here in the arena, which is going to stay until the end of the fight. So the longer that the fight continues, the more degens there are gonna be around the place, and just keep that in mind.
You will long for
Non-existence. He is doomed. Die. Everlasting fire.
I just try to deal damage to the real guy. He has a health bar. Like here I saw him that this one is the real one.
Non-existence.
I could have done a better job to avoid, but it's fine.
Beyond, there is only horror. Everlasting fire.
Like this light that you saw when he's casting the Everlasting Fire, that's the same animation that you see when he is starting the multi-clone phase. This way, and the health bar can tell you which one is the real one, as I said earlier.
meaning.
Is an illusion. Be silent.
Here, I'm gonna demonstrate why you do not want to be standing on the degens. You're getting two debuffs. One of them is causing you to be shocked, and the other one, that you see up here to the left, is causing you to take damage over time. And as you see, because I'm shocked, I'm taking a lot more damage from his hits.
He is doomed. Die. Everlasting fire.
Here I tried to do a bit of damage to him.
You will long for
Non-existence.
There's a lot of transitioning. And it can be difficult to deal damage to him at sometimes. Like, I was pretty unfortunate with the fight. He was standing on top of the degens during a lot of phases, and my minions were dying when they were dealing damage to him.
Seen beyond. Everlasting fire.
you will long for
Non-existence. Die. Be silent. He is doomed. Everlasting fire.
This build doesn't do a lot of damage, and I hope you're gonna see a lot of examples. You're gonna see enough examples of every ability. Sure, I'm trying to get him down to co range. I'm not going to co him instantly because as I said, I'm going to log out. And I'm gonna get to this zone. I'm gonna get to the arena. Here, I'm not sure if I was just moving too slower because I flame dashed over here, but I take a bit of damage from the meteor.
Everlasting fire.
Like, some builds probably aren't gonna survive that.
feel the thrill of
The void. Die.
And yeah, here he is. I'm pretty sure he's in core range, but I still try to do a bit more damage to him.
I have seen
Like, the arena is pretty messy with all the degens.
Feel the thrill of
The void. Die. Be silent.
And yeah, here I log out. Like, I would really recommend that you try to do the whole fight in a without having to leave the instance. But I do this so we can see the new storms. And yeah, here you can see the first storm that we saw from earlier. And there are two other storms, and they're blocking the way, but as you can see, when you stand near them for a while, they're gonna move away to the side and they're gonna create a path for you to get back to Sirus. And yeah, this is pretty much it. Here I could have killed him when he was in the middle, but I will do it here. And that's pretty much the fight.
something.
I think that it's a lot easier compared to before. Like, as you can see, I did it on SSF Hardcore Metamorph, and I'm gonna show a bit about my character in a moment. It's a Juggernaut using skeletons. It's a very tanky build, but the damage isn't great. I've anointed Death Attunement on my amulet, and I get 100% chance to avoid elemental ailment by getting the suffix that you see here on the shield. And on top of that, I've crafted chance to avoid elemental ailments on my body armor, on my helmet, and on my gloves. This way, I don't need to use flasks or... this is the way that I mitigate his ailments, because his laser deals... I'm pretty sure it deals damage from all elements. And some chaos. You need chaos rest for this fight. And yeah, this is pretty much it. Yeah, basically, it's a lot easier compared to before. In my opinion, it's easier than the Uber Elder fight. It's pretty much on the same level as Shaper once you get used to it. At first it might be a bit scary, but once you do it a few times, it's very easy. Yeah, this is gonna be it. I hope that this was informative for you. I hope that you learned something new, and yeah. I'm gonna leave a POB of the character that I used. And I also stream on Twitch. I'm gonna leave a link to my channel. Feel free to check out my stream. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.